Good evening. I'd like to call to order this regular meeting of the Bethel Board of Finance on this Tuesday, September 10th. Let's start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, any public comment? No. Any correspondence?
No.
No. Okay, consideration of approval for the July 9th regular meeting minutes. Give folks
July, wow.
some time to read those minutes. Okay, entertain a motion to accept the minutes as submitted.
So moved?
Second.
Okay. For those folks who can vote, all those who are in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, none.
Abstain.
As we'll notice, two important members of these meetings, Bob and Brad are not here today. They're out of town on at a seminar. Bob told me what he will do is send the comptroller's report to us electronically, and if any of us have questions, feel free to get back to Bob.
Okay.
And the one substantive item on the agenda has to do with the water main replacement project. You may recall that this came to us a couple months ago. The idea was to go out, bid it at $998. Apparently, the bids came in higher than the $998. So to optimize or to provide the town with the most flexibility, the motion has been amended to do as much road as, or as much pipe as possible within the $998. And then should it be possible to do more, then we have the designate of Pleasant Street and Highview Terrace as alternative project portions. I guess for purposes of discussion, I'll read the motion. We'll need a second, we'll discuss, and then we can vote. So the motion, consideration of approval of the 2019 water main replacement project in the amount of $998,000, which includes the following streets: Mansfield Street, Grassy Plain Terrace, Oakland Heights, Maple Lane, Highview Terrace from Grassy Plain Terrace up to number 22 Highview Terrace, and, this is where the difference is, designate Pleasant Street and Highview Terrace between numbers 22 and 18 as alternate project portions. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, discussion.
Do we have any idea what the additional amounts would be in order to do the Pleasant Street, Highland Avenue Terrace, all that? Do we have that information?
You mean to do the full project? Well, when Tom is here, but when the bids came in, as the chairman said, this was pegged at $998,000, but the bids came in at 1.1 million or higher. So it's being rebid again, but that's the, I would assume that could be the outer limit, but who knows? Maybe the companies are a little bit hungrier this time of year and we'll get a break and we'll do the whole thing, but whole purpose is just to, the language in the first town meeting didn't give us the flexibility to value engineer it and take a road off to make it fit within the budget, so we just have to restate it and do it over.
So the 998 was not a value engineered bid, it was just
No.
some kind of estimate that we
It-
had?
Yeah, I mean, it was a good estimate when it was made, but, it's a dynamic market, things changed when the bids went out. So
Okay.
how many we get 5 companies bid, right?
We got four.
Four.
Typically, when we come up with our estimate, very similar to a previous project, so we'll just look at those quantities. We'll
Okay.
look at the bids that came in previously, obviously not necessarily go with the low bid number, because you may not get that low bid number again. So you kind of look at those couple of low bids and try to come up with an average. And so that's how we came up with the estimate of the 998.
Did they do test boring? Did they find something that caused it to be kind of off where you thought? Did they find ledge or something like that?
No, it's just, again, it's a year later, when we went out to bid this July, it's a year later from the past project that we did, so the numbers just came in, a little bit higher.
And does that price include all the laterals and everything?
Yes, paving, the whole nine.
Laterals, everything?
Mhm.
Okay. Any more questions?
So the issue right now is we'll approve the 998 and then
see what the
Go back
overage
out to
is.
bid and
Exactly. What we did was we designated, the Highview Terrace between 22 and 18. That's what we took out of what was originally bid, so we're making that an alternate.
Okay, and what's
So-
the timing of the bids, when will you know?
If we get approval here, I think we have a special town meeting already set for
September
September
24th.
24th.
24th. We would wanna, advertise and go right out to bid right thereafter, and
Okay.
open bids a month later. So we're looking at end of October to open bids back.
And when does the work start?
Well, if, potentially, it'll depend on the low bidder and his ability to start the job like right away. Basically, you're gonna have a winter period in there where, you know, you can, depending on the weather,
Right.
you might be able to continue getting some work done. Typically, there's an allowance for a winter shutdown, so it really depends on the harshness of the weather and whether we're getting a really cold December, or does that, the warm weather extend a little bit into January where he can actually get started, so
Okay.
it really depends on the low bidder.
How many feet total was the project that went out to bid?
The original was just under 3,500 feet, and what I've done now is just, I've taken out about 450, so I think I've left myself comfortably where the bid should come in under that 998, and then we'll just see how the bids look from there to see if we're able to do any more or not.
How long does the project take?
I would say, if you don't have any kind of a winter shutdown from start to finish, you're looking at probably 6 months.
So,
Sure.
what's the impact of eliminating between numbers 22 and 18?
The impact, really, all of that street is a 4-inch water main, so we're trying to replace our older 4-inch mains. All it's really gonna do is delay, probably by 1 more year, getting that last piece done on that particular street.
Meaning, so what's the actual impact to customers or the?
To those customers, they're gonna have the same exact service they have now, basically, yes.
So is the purpose of just not coming back for the full amount is to avoid referendum for speed's sake? I mean,
Basically, yeah.
And also, basically, we exceeded, that the bids came in over the amount that we.
right, I guess my point is, I mean, if you come back for the money anyway, I mean, economy of scale would think that while they're there, it's gonna be cheaper than if we ask them to come back and bid another, you know, next year, hey, now you gotta reopen the road, you're gonna be go over sections that you already paved. And it could create, I mean, it happened on my road, right? We paved my road beautifully and then we dug it up for the water lines. So all I'm saying is, I mean, is it the worst thing? Are you worried that if it fails at a referendum, the project has to get done? It just seems to me like it might make sense just to do the project all at once, you know, and save a little bit of money and just get it done. So we're on to the next thing.
I think you just have to consider offset the cost of the referendum as well. I guess that's not a.
11,000,
Right.
12,000?
15,000,
On a million
the bigger problem is logistics, because we've got primaries coming up, and then municipal election, and because of the sequestering of the machine, it's very hard to slot a referendum in.
I just remember Mr. Knickerbocker saying, I'm not quoting this, but it's paraphrased, we don't want to let money come in, get in the way of the democratic process. So it's not necessarily a good reason not to have a referendum, when the whole point is of having a referendum, if it's over a certain amount, that's what it is. So Brian's point is well taken. So for convenience sake, you're bypassing a process.
No, it's not for convenience sake, it's to start the project earlier, because it's kind of urgent. And this is a process we have to go through. It's usually priced per linear foot. Okay, so if it picks up.
But we know it's gonna be over $1 million. We know it's gonna be over $1 million.
No, we don't, it's going out for rebid.
Okay.
It may
I
not be
understood
over
that
$1
it
million
was-
this time. At the time of year this was first bid, it was high season. I mean, you're getting into the time of year when some of those prices are likely to moderate. It could come in under the number that we have.
So you're gonna get a bid on all the sections, they're just gonna break it down. Bid 1 will be based on going to here, bid 2 will be this, and then third bid.
You'll have a base bid and then the alternate, and then you take it from there.
Well, look, my understanding of it too is you've got a budget, right? The commission's got
Yeah.
a budget and you wanna stay on that budget. And I'm a little surprised by your comment, you're a big fan of the town meeting form.
I
right?
am.
And this is just gonna be a town meeting, it's just not gonna be referendum. So
I understand that.
okay, I just wanna make sure that I wasn't missing what your objection was.
Well, it's not necessarily an objection, it's only an objection when it's put into context of, I heard the word convenience, but maybe that's not accurate, just to make sure everything, like Ryan said, I mean, I don't wanna be digging up roads or having to obstruct things twice.
Understood.
So
I
that's
also
all.
understand the good part about living within a budget.
Well, it's a wonderful concept, and I do appreciate the concept, but, it doesn't always happen, so,
Okay, well, it looks like it is this time,
well,
or at least the intent is.
Yay.
Okay, cool. Any more discussion? No? All right, we have a motion, it's been seconded. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed? Okay. No more meeting, agenda items, so entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move to adjourn?
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Done.
Who first and second that, I'm sorry.
You second.
You, okay, thank you.
Cool, thank you.
You made 15 minutes.